The word Yatama Tatopat, as you referred, is a Bengali statement which literally means as many faiths, so many paths. That's just to say, paths may be different, but they are leading to the same ultimate objective. This is the concept. Paths are different. Similarly, religious attitudes may be varied, but we should not consider that all are equal. This is the mistake we do. So far the conflict resolution in modern society is concerned, I feel that we should understand the basic definition of dharma. Generally, even in our constitution, the word religion have been used, which is a practically Abrahamic concept. But if the word dharma would have been used in our constitution, no secularism concept was necessary. We get the definition from our Shastras, say Manusmriti, which have a comprehensive definition of dharma. 10 symptoms of dharma according to Manu. You give in search, you will get it. Dhritik, Shama, Dama, Asteyam, Shaucham, Indriya Nigraha, Dhir Vidya, Satyam Akrodha, Dashakam, Dharma Lakshana. I won't go to detail because it is a short interview. What means these are some brilliant characteristic qualities. If any person maintains the basic principles of these qualities in his character, wherever he resides, whatever language he speaks, whatever rituals he practices for religious understanding, they will have no conflict with each other at all. That has happened all through in Indian society. Nana Bhasha, Nana Mat, Nana Paridhan, Vividher Majadako Milana Mahan. One Bengali poet has said, our dresses, languages, food habit, cultural presentations, religious rituals, all vary. But we live in perfect peace and harmony with each other. That has always been the beauty of Vedic civilization. There are some other religions who openly advocate conflict, but nobody says or points out finger to them. That is a pity. So we should try to avoid this unnecessary interaction, and we should follow Sri Ramakrishna's approach to live in harmony with each other.
Swamiji, at an individual level, what should a samsari do to attain a state of perpetual bliss and inner peace?
We generally use the word samsari to mean grihasthas, who was living a householder life with family, friend, children, grandchildren, parents, grandparents, all these things. That is family life. So what is the rule? Sri Ramakrishna has very clearly and repeatedly advised his adherents that you can have the vision of God, live a perfect spiritual life while maintaining all the duties of the family. There is no conflict in family life. There is no condition that giving up family life is a must for spiritual perfection. So what we have to do is, we should consider our own kith and kin, that we normally say relations, blood relations, our close friends, associates, well-wishers, all these things. We should look upon them as varied manifestations of God. We are serving them. God is taking our worship through relatives. So this human connection we should try to forget Rather, we should look upon them. We are serving God in the form of relatives. Same attitude we should have with other people who are not related with us. This is the way how we can convert our daily duties, which we do with egoistic mindset. We can give up and we shall take up the attitude of a devotee serving his gods in the form of wives, in the form of children, in the form of husband, in the form of relatives, sons, daughters, friends, well-wishers, neighbors, everything. So that is the basic principle that can solve the difference between social obligations and spiritual obligations. This difference has been obliterated in the philosophy of Sri Ramakrishna. He himself, being a householder, lived a monk's life, had a relationship with his wife, who was veritably a sannyasini. They lived a perfectly spiritual relationship, family relationship, perfect understanding with each other, and everyone sacrificing his or her best to make the other person happy. These attitudes can save us and help us combine the householder life with our sadhana life or spiritual journey.
Swamiji, my third question is, Swami Vivekananda always spoke of worshipping the poor and downtrodden as Narayana. With India now poised to become the third largest economy, do you think the fight against poverty is on the right track in India? Like whether it is really addressing those poverty issues?
It's a very big question. It should have been, but it is not in practically. A very small segment of Indian society follow Swami Vivekananda literally. Generally, our government doesn't share fully the attitude that Swami Vivekananda advised. The development that we are seeing in Indian society, GDP growth is happening, big industries, productions, all this are happening, what is true. But the distribution of wealth is not uniform. And perfect society, as Swamiji dreamed, will never happen. It is not possible also. All we can do is, we can ensure a equitable distribution of the social privileges and service facilities, health facility, basic education facility, scope for development. We can make this accessible to all level of people uniformly. Now, each one's progress will depend upon what he can do. But total obliteration of poverty will never happen, it cannot happen. Because even if you give all the people equal privileges due to their own lack of initiative, lack of interest, lack of enthusiasm, lack of sincerity, the result will be different. So the difference will always remain only from government's level or even as an individual level. We can ensure we shall make all the facilities for personal and institutional growth available to all sections of society, irrespective of their social status. Then slowly we can, I think, obliterate this difference between person to person, persons and industrialists, persons and rich and poor different. This divide we can lessen as much as possible. But the perfect development for all the people, complete freedom from poverty, that can never happen. But it has happened to a large extent. In the last 10-12 years, we have been able to reduce the poverty-stricken people to a very substantial number, and basic amenities are much more accessible to people. So I think to a certain extent Swamiji's dream has come true, but there is a long way to go. You have asked about how to make work-life balance among the youth or young, energetic, working people. You see, work-life balancing comes when our basic attitude is not correct. Generally, we look upon work as some kind of compulsion. Generally, we look upon work as kind of compulsion which we cannot avoid. But if we do work with love and sincerity, work will never be considered a work. It will be a play for us. Work becomes drudgery when we are compelled to work. This, we have to free ourselves from this attitude. That is most number one condition. Then we should do work without expecting result. We should do work as a duty, as if we have the privilege of doing that particular work, by which many people or a segment of the people who are only different manifestations of God, they are getting my service. Rather, they are giving me a privilege to serve them. With this serviceful attitude and with love attached to it, if we look upon our work with a worshipful attitude, what Swamiji used to say, Shiva Jnana Jiva Seva. People are saying it is work, and for me it is a kind of worship only. I am worshipping the poor, the needy, my neighbor, even my serving my client. They are very little manifestations of God. By changing this attitude toward work, we can convert our work life with our spiritual life. And in that case, balancing work and spiritual life doesn't arise at all. This attitudinal sense, this thing, basics should be understood, and we should try to attain perfection over practice for a longer period.
Like we are talking of a society where people are too much work addicted and they are not able to devote time to their family. So that type of balance, how they can divide time, their balance, and also.
The question is, we consider our family people different, workplace, colleagues, and the clients, they are different. Actually, we are overlooking a basic thing. I am getting resources for maintaining my family obligations through the work. So the clients I am serving practically through my work, they are my most valuable resources. So, as it is necessary to serve my client, I have equal responsibility to give time to my family life also. Because I can earn a lot of money, but if I fail to maintain my interpersonal relationship with my family member, then that money will be of no use at all. So, maintaining both these relationships equally important. That is why we are suggesting, from the viewpoint of Ramakrishna Paramhansa philosophy, that you do not make any differentiation between your family members or tutor. You tell your family members, I am serving God in one form in my office, in another form I am serving you. So don't misunderstand me. The moment I am available, I shall serve you also. Suppose if you all cooperate with me, I can serve my clients faster with less time and give more time to them. So it needs mutual cooperation with each other. This understanding should be developed through healthy discussions in dining tables, in family circles, mutually studying this philosophy together, taking advice of people who understand it better. And in this learning process, our family members also should be made part of that discussion. That is how we can satisfy both the sides and do both the parts of our responsibility.
Stop.
There is another point in this issue that you have brought forward. Nowadays, there are certain professions which are demanding very long working hours for us, like works in IT segment and other thing, 10 hours, 12 hour jobs. I think first and foremost thing is, as I understand, we should define our need clearly. Do we need so much money at all? If we are satisfied with the basics needs, by fulfilling our basic needs and give up the so-called status consciousness or living a very luxurious life, then I think we can manage our responsibilities with lesser working hours, where remuneration will be comparatively less. So one of the suggestions I suggest to these people who are involved in long working hours is that you decide family with your family. What is the minimum that you have? Little more than that, you fix your target, but never more than that. And once you have reached that target, you put a break, because you are not born for living a life like the yokes in a windmill or in a oil extraction machine. You have a normal life, your family life is as much important as your working life. So for that, you have to reduce your demand and reduce your unnecessary needs. You have to make a clear chart where you want to reach and keep that within a feasible level so that your working hours doesn't hamper your family life. Because if you are not able to give sufficient time to your family, giving more time to office, that money will be of no use at all. So be satisfied with lesser income, but pay more attention to family and try to compromise with your demands. That is the key. So reduce your demand and balance your life. Question that how to deal with failures in personal life and professional life. You see, one thing we must know, that the very purpose of our work life is to attain a reasonable amount of success. That is our expectation. But the pain that we get when we do not attain that level of success is actually our desire for success. The question is, our basic understanding should be made very clear that in attaining success in any kind of individual, whether it is personal or it is institutional, the main problem is our attitude towards work. In attaining success, there are two components. Certain part of the job depends upon our own sincerity, dedication, hard work, all these factors. But certain aspect of the result depends on cooperation by other people, other situations, social conditions on which we have no control. So we must make it sure the part that depends on our sincerity, dedication and commitment, we must make 100% of that part, and we should be satisfied with that. Because some other person's cooperation I cannot ensure. Some social factors like social disturbance, I have no control over that. So the factors on which I have no control, and if they influence the result of my action, I cannot blame anybody. But I can tell to myself that whatever is necessary to be done on my part, I have given my 100%. Now whatever result comes, I shall consider that I am successful. Sometimes annexed, the other big part of the factors that influence our success or ultimate result, they are favorable, but that is not our credit, it is a natural gift. This thing we should understand. So I think we should be satisfied by doing our part of it, which is 50% responsible for the success, and rest factors, if doesn't come in our favor, we should gladly accept and start a fresh attempt to attempt better performance in next attempts. But we should not allow ourselves to be bogged down by that adverse situation. This is the attitude that can ensure our mental peace. Failures won't detain us. Even I ask people or advise my students or well-wishers or to ask our assistant, who is husband, you keep a portion of your mind ready to accept the unexpected outcome. Keep yourself mentally ready that if everything is well, I shall attain 90% performance result. But it is not there. If the result comes 50 or 60%, I know that I have done my part of the job. Rest of the thing didn't come, so I won't bother. But I shall continue to do or improve upon my efforts so that next time it becomes bigger. This is how we can adjust with the occasional failure, partial or full failure, and we can maintain our flow, enthusiasm and enterprising attitude.
And how can a common man, like even students, they can really develop the power of concentration?
Power of concentration is a very big issue and it never comes all of a sudden, but there are systematic guidance to understand how our mind works. And from our Ramakrishna mission, there is a beautiful book written for commoners by our Swami Udanandji, Mind and Its Control. Then there are other books for mental concentration. And Swamiji's Raja Yoga, all these books are there. First we know how our mind works. Then on a regular basis, we should try to practice concentration of mind systematically, taking some people who understand these things better, taking their guidance, we should practice. And on a regular basis, twice and preferably 3 times of the day, only for 10 or 15 minutes practice session we can continue on a regular basis. Just like taking medicine, we should continue it. And over time, slowly we have a control over our mind. That is the way to develop it. Concentration of mind comes. There are many factors which enhances the distraction of mind. Suppose, if our life is impure, if our way of work is mixed with unfair things, if our approaches are not fully ethical and morally or socially approved, then our mind becomes more disturbed. So, purity, patience and perseverance are the basic guidelines, and sincere practice over time with the help of some people who can provide us guidance in this line. Some personal counseling, it's like our monks who are good at it, and partially through lectures and audios or videos or books we can read, and slowly we can develop a routine for us. In many of our centers, there are this type of counseling, short or longer periodic courses for that. For developing mental concentration, we do it mainly for school children or college children. I think people of different age groups can take advantage from our Swamis, and at the same time they can take other guidance from other organizations also.